What is up, you guys? I got a pretty exciting video for you today. Here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about my three biggest goals for 2026. Specifically, these are going to be my three biggest financial goals for 2026. So, I'm big on writing things down, especially in the new year, and just creating goals that I want to achieve throughout the new year, and then looking back on it in December and seeing what I actually completed, what decisions were big enough for me to actually stick with for an entire 12 months. And it feels good to set goals for yourself and to actually check them off and be like, I wanted to do that. I told myself I was going to do it and I did it. And I also think it helps hold us accountable because I can say I want to do three different things throughout the new year, but unless I actually write them down and I can visualize them and I can hold myself accountable to those, they're just ideas that I'm probably going to end up forgetting about, or I'm going to manipulate the actual goal and change the goalpost and make it more achievable. So if you take the time to write down goals, especially financial goals, and you hold yourself accountable and stick to them, it feels really fucking good at the end of the year when you actually achieve these goals. So, before I talk about my specific goals, I want you guys to write down three things, three financial goals that you want to achieve in the new year. Open up your phone, create a note, whatever you have to do, write it down, and then set a reminder for yourself in December, maybe like December 1st or December 15th of 2026, and say, check the goals that you created back in January and see what you actually achieved. See if you actually held yourself accountable and made these things happen. And pick stuff that is challenging but still attainable, right? I'm not saying, make $1 billion next year or anything along those lines, but things that you feel like are challenging enough, but they're worth chasing and they're going to make a positive impact on your life if you do achieve them. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. The first goal, and this is my first financial goal every single year, is to max out my Roth IRA. The Roth IRA, I've talked about it before on this channel. It's a fantastic tool that I think is underutilized by a lot of people, especially people in their early to mid 20s. It's basically an investment account that has tax benefits that you can take advantage of. And as long as you use it properly and you wait to take the money out until you're basically at least 60, I think the technical age is 59 and a half, you can withdraw all that money, the contributions, the gains, the dividends, the interest, the capital gains, as I just mentioned when I said gains. You can take all that out tax free. And some people don't understand how beneficial and huge this is. So if you're not sure what a Roth IRA is, definitely look into it. But my first financial goal every single year on my list is to max out my Roth IRA. I opened my first Roth IRA when I was 16. It was a custodial account with my parents on it. And then back in 2020, when COVID hit, I saw it as an opportunity and I got really aggressive with investing after that. And I actually maxed out my Roth IRA in one day. I had a decent amount of savings back then. I mean, I have a decent savings now, but I was still in school at the time and I was lucky enough, or however you want to look at it, I worked hard and I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to save that money to then go ahead and max out my Roth IRA in a day. But ever since then, I have been maxing out the Roth IRA every single year since 2020, and I don't plan on stopping. And that is my number one financial goal. And basically, the way I go about it is just to have sort of a plan. I basically invest about $580 something a month, and that pretty much brings me up to the the limit that you can actually contribute to the Roth IRA, unless they changed it for 2026. I'm not sure. I have to look into that. But either way, that's the first and foremost thing on my mind when it comes to my personal finances is make sure I'm maxing that out, because once the year's over and that next tax season hits, the opportunity to max out the Roth IRA for that year is gone forever, and it's lost opportunity for sure. So that's that. That's number one. Number two, and this is a pretty ambitious one. I want to try and save 50% of my income. Now, This can sound kind of aggressive, but I definitely think it's possible, and here's why. I have a fully funded emergency fund. Quite frankly, my emergency fund is larger than it needs to be, but just due to my risk tolerance, I like to have a bigger emergency fund in case, God forbid I lose a job or emergencies happen or whatever the case may be. So I'm saving a decent amount of my income right now. I'm hoping to increase my income next year. I plan to, whether it's with my current company or finding a new job. But also, my expenses are going to be um, smaller next year, for lack of a better term. That's because I'm going to be moving in with my girl. We've been dating we met earlier on this year. Things are just great. We basically live together now. We're always together outside of work, and it just doesn't really make sense for us to pay for two rents when we quite literally live together now. So we're going to be moving in together earlier on in the new year, which is going to cut my living expenses drastically, which is going to open up more capital to be saved and invested. So that's a big reason why I think I will be able to go ahead and save 50% of my income. Obviously, anything can happen. Emergencies pop up. There might be unexpected expenses. I will be moving at some point next year as well. So there's expenses that come along with that. But running the numbers, roughly, I do think I can go ahead and save 50% of my income. And that is definitely the plan. It's on the list of goals. Um, so hopefully I can achieve it. And I definitely plan on making a follow-up video in regards to these goals in the, next year in 2026, just to see where I'm at. I'm going to be tracking all my numbers. I always do. I track my income, my expenses, my savings, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely be able to follow up with you guys on that. But I'm excited to see if I can make that one happen. That's probably the one I'm most ambitious about. And number three is going to be, I want to invest a certain amount of money into my brokerage as well as into crypto. This is something that I've kind of lacked on this year, just because of, again, many different factors. I moved this year, didn't have a job for a little while, fell behind on my Roth contributions, handling expenses now that I'm living out on my own. So really a lot of my investing went directly to my Roth IRA. So a priority of mine, and I don't have the exact numbers. It's going to depend on my budget that I create for myself in the new year. But I definitely want to focus more on investing into my brokerage account as well as adding a small amount, nothing drastic. But I do want to consistently invest into my crypto account as well. I got pretty aggressive with that at one point. I think it was like last year, and then back in 2021, I was pretty aggressive with it too. I have invested over five figures at this point into crypto, so I have a decent amount of money in there. It's only a small portion of my overall net worth. It's not like if my crypto portfolio goes to zero, I'm going to be bankrupt or anything like that. But I want to be more proactive about investing in my brokerage and my crypto account. Again, of course, on top of maxing out my Roth IRA. So that's my third goal. I don't have the exact numbers for my sort of budget, if you will, around my brokerage, my crypto account, just because I haven't figured out all the details yet. I don't know exactly what my expenses are going to be, and I don't know exactly what my income is going to be just yet for the new year. So that's going to play a role in that. But the main focus there is to just begin contributing something in the new year, because that's definitely something that I lacked on this year, and I want to make up for that. So that's it, man. That's all I got for you guys. Those are my three biggest financial goals for 2026: maxing out the Roth IRA, saving 50% of my income, and then investing into my brokerage and crypto account consistently. Do me a favor, guys. Drop comments. Let me know what your goals are for the new year. What are you focusing on? Is it paying off debt? Is it investing? Is it maxing out retirement accounts? Let me know in the comments. I definitely want to know. As always, I appreciate you checking in. If you're new here, I post every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I post all kinds of content about personal finance, life experiences, just anything I feel like you guys can relate to or vibe with. I just talk about it and throw it over some gameplay. So I appreciate you guys checking in as always. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.